The recent advances in artificial intelligence has surprised many of us. In the last few months, we have seen many AI applications being launched by OpenAI, then Google, Microsoft, and a host of other tech companies. And people are betting on AI big time. In fact, experts think that AI is finally happening because it has been in waiting for many, many years, in fact, many, many decades. AI revolution started way back in 1950s and 60s during the Alan Turing times. It started, and finally it is happening thanks to more advanced AI techniques, deep learning techniques in the recent few years, about 10 years back, and also advancement in the hardware. But key question here is that whether it is going to create problems for the society instead of helping solving the problems in the society. There's no doubt that it is going to increase the efficiency, it is going to increase the productivity, and many industries will be disrupted because of AI. But it is not very clear how the companies will protect it from the hands of people who like to misuse it. For example, terrorists or scammers, people who are scamming people, or even politicians, for example, how they're going to misuse this, and more importantly, how tech company will ensure that they build systems and technology that are unbiased. It's very difficult to assess whether an AI technology is unbiased because it has got billions and trillions of parameters. It's humanly impossible to actually verify it or audit it. There cannot be a proper independent audit for these sort of applications. But Google has come up with a list of principle it follows during AI applications. We should not take this principle on face value, simply because these have not been audited properly by an independent agency. Recently, Google CEO was summoned by the Congress there in the US, the parliament there. And in many other countries, these tech companies are being scrutinized properly for proper use of AI in building applications. It has very nascent stage, so it's not very clear how things are going to evolve over time and whether things are going to create problems for the society. One thing we know for sure is that a lot of the content that will be generated in the future will be AI content, as in content generated by AI. It's very difficult to differentiate a content, a video or an audio created by an AI application and created by a human being. So that distinction will be very difficult to make, and hence it can be misused for political gains, for scamming people, and so on and so forth. It's already happening. In fact, if you go through some of the videos on different social media platforms about how people are creating fake videos for different celebrities with their own voice, it's amazing how real these videos look actually, and they are actually fake. It's also known as deep fake. How tech companies will protect their own technology, because on one hand they have to outsource their technology, not outsource but make it open source, so that many other companies can use their APIs to build on top of this fundamental language model, these fundamental AI models, or foundational AI models rather. But one important challenge here is that how they will protect from people misusing those models, because many people may have a ill intent or may have an intention of malpractice, and that could result in a lot of disruption in society. Some of the principle AI Google has laid out at the following, and we are going to go through that. Okay, let's start with the introduction, where it says, while we are optimistic about the potential of AI, we recognize that advanced technologies can raise important challenges and that must be addressed clearly and thoroughly and affirmatively. These AI principles describe our commitment to developing technology responsibly and work to establish specific application areas, we will not pursue. Very important, right? So what are these objectives? Be socially beneficial. The expanded reach of new technology increasingly touches society as a whole. Advances in AI will have transformative impacts in a wide range of fields, including healthcare, security, energy, transportation, manufacturing, and entertainment. As we consider potential development uses of AI technologies, we will take into account a broad range of social and economic factors and will proceed where we believe that overall likely benefits substantially exceed the foreseeable risk and downside. So that's important. There is a trade-off that there will be benefits, but there will also be risk, for example, right? And the intention is to ensure that the benefits are more than the risk involved or the downsides involved. But question is, benefits for whom? Benefits for Google or to tech companies, and risk for who? Risk for the society. Then it's not a good balance, right? The benefits should also be given to the society. Then if the risk is also for society, the benefits also should ideally be given to the society also. For example, in terms of giving financial benefits, social security to people, because a lot of the jobs will anyway be redundant. People will lose jobs. AI will take over, and that will create a lot of mess in the society. And hence, important that the benefits these companies will make out of AI systems have to then be, some part of it should be given to normal people. All right, so that's one. Importantly, they don't talk about, very interestingly, they don't talk about here the unemployment aspect of it, because that will be a huge problem. Avoid creating or reinforcing unfair bias. This is very important actually. Right? Let's go through it. AI algorithms and datasets can reflect, reinforce, and reduce unfair biases. We recognize that distinguish fair from unfair biases is not always simple and differs across cultures and societies. We will seek to avoid unjust impacts on people, particularly those related to sensitive characteristics such as race, ethnicity, gender, nationality, income, sexual orientation, ability, and political and religious belief. Very important, because the models can induce some bias. A lot of the things that will get generated from the AI models can create a lot of issues in the society if there is a bias towards certain type of people. It could be based on the race, ethnicity, religious belief, sexual orientation, political affiliation, and so on and so forth. It can be done unintentionally or with some intention. A lot of the politicians in particular, where you have dictatorial governments such as in Turkey or such as in Iran or in some other parts of the world, where governments or the political leaders at the top might create such AI system that will generate content which are biased in nature, simply because the model itself is biased. How to ensure that there is no bias? This is an important problem also people solve in the banking financial service industry, where the model should not be biased towards certain type of people for credit, right? And this has been seen actually in the past. That in the US, many credit scorecard models were biased towards certain race, whether they are black people or women or handicapped people or minorities. People were subjected to bias through these models, and normal people will not know that unless there is a clear guideline as to how not to induce bias in the model. It's very difficult to have checks and balances, and also very difficult to audit actually whether something is happening or not, because there are some billions of parameters. So this is an important topic. I am not sure how to actually verify that, because how will you verify 1 billion or couple of trillion parameters? That's impossible humanly. Maybe there will be another AI system which will be built to verify that, and I'm sure government will come up with some policies, but the conventional system will not be very useful for sure for this. We built and tested for safety. We will continue to develop and apply strong safety and security practices to avoid unintended results that create risks of harm. We will design our AI systems to be appropriately cautious and seek to develop them in accordance with best practices in AI safety research. In appropriate cases, we will test AI technology in constrained environments and monitor the operation after deployment. This is actually very, very important, because this also very similar to the nuclear research that was done 1940s, where the intention was good, that is a new technology, amazing to know that you can generate so much of energy by colliding electrons and protons and these tiny particles. Amazing achievement by the physicist, but people were worried that that will be misused by dictators like Hitler, and then the US government started the research to create such a system. But how do you test it? You test it in a controlled environment. Things did not go well for some time. You and I know actually what happened afterwards. And there is always a risk of nuclear war and so on and so forth. AI system, on the other hand, will not need that sort of a physical infrastructure to create dangerous applications. All you need is computers, GPUs, and some scientists to work on that. You don't need a physical infrastructure, unlike in nuclear bomb case. God knows how things will be regulated, but the rate at which the advancement is happening in the AI research, government is far behind in terms of coming up with regulations for AI. And before these regulations come up, I think some blunder might have already happened or will happen, and that will create a lot of issues in the society. A lot of the Instagram video nowadays, you see also many of them have been created already by AI. So without we noticing that it's not a humanly created video. Be accountable to people. We will design AI system that provide appropriate opportunity for feedback, relevant explanations, and appeal. Our AI technology will be subject to appropriate human direction and control. Okay, so that's important. Human direction and control. That means human beings will be able to control the AI application very. The AI scientist Jeffrey Hinton is saying that we might be in danger because there may be some instances when we'll have no control about on the system that we build, and then that will be an issue. Elon Musk has also pointed out that what if we build something and we forget how to control it, how to make changes to that system, then the system will control us. And we are not that far in AI research, but I think that is potential, has that you never know if that might happen or not. But human control is very important. Explainability therefore is very important. How do you know, how can you explain the AI model very well? Can you explain how input is transformed into output by the AI model? That part is still a challenge in AI research. I think most of the top AI research will tell you that explainability is still a very big issue in AI research. Inappropriate privacy design principle. We will incorporate our privacy principle in the development and use of our AI technologies. We will give opportunity for notice and consent, encourage architectures with privacy safeguards, and provide appropriate transparency and control of use of data. Use of data and privacy, it's always important. Any data research, machine learning, AI research, you name it, but super important. I'm not sure if they are taking consent from the data that people have put on the web, right? There is no consent there, so people are using the way they want. So there is a question mark there whether they're upholding what they're saying. Uphold high standards of scientific excellence. Okay, scientific excellence is very important in any technological research, but more so because this might pose some threat to the society. Technological innovation is rooted in the scientific method and commitment to open inquiry, intellectual rigor, integrity, and collaborations. AI tools have the potential to unlock new realms of scientific research and knowledge in critical domains like biology, chemistry, medicine, and environmental sciences. We aspire to high standards of scientific excellence as we work to progress AI development. We will work with a range of stakeholders to promote thoughtful leadership in this area, drawing on scientific rigors and multidisciplinary approach. We will responsibly share AI knowledge by publishing educational material, best practices, research that enable more people to develop useful AI applications. Well, they are already doing that actually. They have created amazing courses already on AI. They're uploading their research output on their website, also on the YouTube channel. So I think they're doing a good job. So they're not very secretive about it. You never know. Maybe there are a lot of things they're keeping secret. Be made available for uses that accord with this principle. Many technology have multiple uses. We will work to limit potentially harmful or abusive applications. As we develop and deploy AI technology, we will evaluate likely uses in light of the following factors: primary purpose and use. The primary purpose and likely use of technology and applications, including how closely the solution is related to or adaptable to a harmful use. Nature and uniqueness, skill, and nature of Google's involvement. So yeah, I think that's quite easy to follow for tech company. These are some things they have already been doing for other applications, not necessarily just AI applications, but even for the search applications, they're already doing that. And then these are principles that they will not pursue. Okay, so AI applications we will not pursue. In addition to the above objectives, we will not design or deploy AI in the following application area. First, technology that cause are likely to cause overall harm, where there is a material risk of harm. We will proceed only where we believe that the benefit substantially outweighs the risk. Will incorporate appropriate safety constraints. We're at a very vague level, right? This is at a very high level. They don't define as to what is harm, what exactly is the risk, what are the benefits for whom. It's not very detailed, very unfortunately. Weapons or other technology whose principal purpose or implementation is to cause directly or facilitate injury to people. Okay, it's good. Technology that gather or use information for surveillance violating internationally accepted norms. That's good to know. Technology whose purpose contravenes widely accepted principles of international law and human rights. Again, these are very high level principle, I would say. It's not very clear. This should not have just 10 points. This should make it very clear as to where they will not go. I mean, will they do things where it will cause a lot of, not directly, but indirect problems to people? For example, loss of jobs. That's one apprehension many people have. It's not very clear, because that's in itself is not a crime, but indirectly you are causing a lot of issues in the society. That's not very clear yet. Okay, see you in the next video, guys.